Hey, Shelly, how you doing today?
Awesome. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, this is going to be a fun subject. So we were talking about your list, your 500 conversation list.
Relationship conversations.
Relationship conversations, and literally there is 500, by the way.
At least.
So self-love. Self-love is what we're going to talk about today. And I think this is going to be one of your topics. It's going to be one of your favorites, right? So we talk about self-love and we talk about relationships. Brian Willingham was just in here, and man, that was deep. That was super deep. So we got to have some fun now, right? Relax a little bit.
Yeah.
But self-love is a big part of that. It's a big part of confidence. It's a big part of managing your anger. It's a big part of managing anything traumatic in your life, things like that, right? Because it helps you deal. But self-love is also important in a relationship in that you can't love someone else unless you love yourself first.
You cannot give away what you don't have.
Right. And sometimes you don't want to bring that up, the universe or whatever, but you attract what you are, right? So you can't always be like, oh, they're so effed up, and not look inward, right? With anything, you got to look inward a little bit and improve yourself. So self-love, like give me a woman's perspective on that.
I think that a lot of women use the idea of self-love as a mirror, but not the mirror they look in. So they hold the mirror outward. So a lot of women go around with their mirror shining outward, looking for the guy who's going to reflect back what they think they need. So almost validation seeking with, is this person going to give me what I need? Where's my love? Where's my love? Where's my love?
But how do you even evaluate that? Like, how do you? First of all, I don't understand because I'm a guy.
So,
but
let's say I'm. I was going to say, let's say I'm a chick, which I am.
Right.
So
I'm
a woman.
Yeah.
And I feel a little empty. My self-love is down here. My tank is way down here. So I feel like I need someone to love me.
Okay.
So I go seek someone out to love me, because when that person loves me, then my self-love tank goes like this, my version of it, because I don't know what self-love is. Because people who are lacking in self-love don't know they're lacking.
Okay.
All they think they're lacking is love.
Okay.
So they go outside
to get it,
fill up the love tank, because that's their version of self-love.
So they're seeking affirmation.
Affirmation, yes.
And sometimes that love tank could be low. So we're tying this all into a traumatic event, right? Because that's really the purpose.
Often.
So that could be
Not
from
so much.
that?
It doesn't have to be traumatic. It could just be a lack of it could just be what they missed in childhood. So maybe their mom, dad, primary caretaker, whoever, didn't reflect back to them what they needed. So when we're young, we're bonding, we need someone to reflect back to us, you are loved. And if you don't get that, then you are going to seek it out. You're going to constantly seek it out until one day you wake up, if you do, hopefully, and you wake up and you say, oh shit, why I keep doing the same thing.
So one of the things about love, I think defining it is important. So when you think about love, there's no conditions on love.
No.
Love is like happiness. It's a state of mind, right? So there's no conditions on it. Meaning that you don't love yourself on conditions either. Like you love yourself because you love yourself. Like you're proud of who you are, you accept who you are, you have your truth, you have your confidence, you have all those things, and that's why you love yourself, right? Because you know no matter what, you're going to be okay. And that's everything in life. Like self-love is key.
A healthy person.
A healthy person, right? And we're not healthy every day. I don't think anybody's healthy every day.
But a person who gets it.
Yeah, but you can correct yourself, right? Like you can look back and say, hey, you know what? This is a temporary feeling or a temporary emotion, and I'm going to go back and be in a position where I can feel and understand and like realize that I'm amazing and everything's going to be cool and da da da.
Right.
But not in a cocky way.
No,
not in like an arrogant way. And you don't think you're better. You think you're equal to.
Right.
Right. And you're not comparing yourself to anybody either.
Right. Right.
Okay.
The comparison is in you to your former self.
Right.
Not me to my sister, my neighbor, my cousin, my coworker, whoever. Right.
Yep. I remember I did this exercise. I was sitting in counseling one day, and they did this exercise, and they said, hey, get out of the chair you're in and switch chairs. And then when you sit in that chair, make believe that you're yourself when you were a kid and talk to yourself like you were a kid. And that's what self-love is. Like, hey, you're going to be okay, buddy. I love you. Like, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be cool. I got you. I'm right here with you. You know what I mean? Like you talk to your child. Right. And that's huge. Because that's everybody's reference for love.
I think that's the beginning. So that conversation is the beginning. So that opens the box.
Right.
So once you open the box, then you have to dive in and do the work. And then that's where we get to truth, which is what we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a lot more, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. But that self-love concept with many women is they don't get what they need early on. And then they continue to chase it. Dissatisfying relationships, toxic relationships, unfulfilling, chasing validation in very unhealthy ways sometimes, just doing a series of things that lead them to dead ends constantly, and then wondering why they still feel empty.
And all this stuff ties together. As you talk like that, I realize that all this stuff's tying together, right? So when we talk about self-love, and I use that example I just did, right? Like you're yourself and a kid, and that sounds weird, but you're talking to yourself when you were 5,
Yes.
right? The love is not only unconditional, but it's like, hey, what can I do? Like, you don't fight from a place of anger. You fight from a place of, hey, I love you, I care about you, I want you to be good, I want you to be the best you can be, and I want to build you up. That's a different world.
When you talk to a child.
No, when you talk to your partner.
Oh,
Like, if you love yourself,
Right.
you know how to talk to your partner. Like, there won't be anger.
right.
Because why would you be angry at somebody you love? Because you're not going to be angry at yourself, right? You're talking from a place of forgiveness. Like, hey, we messed up. It's in the past. It happened. Not saying it's okay, but it needs to be in the past because that's where it's at.
Sure.
And let's move forward and let's build a relationship based on understanding, acceptance, building, making each other better, that type of stuff. And that's what love is. And when I think about that, it's not like a kid, because like a kid, you're almost the boss of a kid. Like your child, you're sort of the boss, right? Like if you have a 10-year-old.
Well, when we're a child, we're the center of the universe.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
At that age, parents serve us.
Yeah.
Our friends are supposed to give us all their toys. We're the center of the universe.
That's not love, because you're not giving it back. But that feeling of, hey, no matter what, I got your back. Like, I'm going to help you grow, and I'm going to help you build, and I want you to be the best person you could possibly be. That piece of it is love, right? You're not getting, you are getting things in return, right? There's nothing better than being a parent. But I'm just saying that individual doesn't know how to do that. Right? Unless they see it. And that's why it's so important, I think, for people to be as healthy as they can be in a relationship, because you're actually demonstrating to the world what that looks like. You know what I mean? Like, if something goes wrong or there's a problem at the house or whatever, and you're like, man, babe, that was really messed up. Like, that hurt my feelings. And, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, what can I do? Or, you know what, I really like to spend more time together. Oh, no, I'm going out with my buddies. Whatever. I need some guy time. That's not the answer.
Right.
The answer is, hey, you know what, I'm really sorry. What do you need? Because I'm interested and I'm vested in this relationship, and this is the priority. Which brings me to another question for you. So in a relationship, in your household, because you have 5 kids and 7 grandkids, almost 8, right?
Almost 8.
Almost 8, okay. So in your household, when you were married, and you had a really healthy relationship, from what I understand, and that's really cool.
I had a healthy relationship with my husband, yeah.
That's really, really cool. And in that relationship, if there's an issue, like, tell me what it looks like.
Well, I
don't mean any issue, not like...
We were healthy, normal.
Whatever that means. I don't even know what that means.
People argue.
Right, yeah, but what's it look like?
People argue.
Like, you've been in an unhealthy relationship too, so
yeah.
If you argue in a healthy relationship, what's the difference?
I've been in codependent relationships. I've been in unhealthy, yucky, chemical dependent relationships. I've been in an amazing, incredible love of my life relationship. So
let's use that one. Let's use the incredible love of my life relationship first, and then we'll go to one of the other ones. You can pick any of the other ones.
Yeah. So in that relationship, the biggest difference that I can think of that comes to mind like that is we weren't disrespectful. We were respectful. We had each other's backs. We had common goals. We were on the same page about almost everything. Sometimes parenting was a little off.
But it's healthy.
It was healthy.
That's healthy to disagree, because everybody agreed. Like,
yeah,
we wouldn't need everybody.
And we were both very passionate about things, so sometimes discussions got a little fiery.
Yeah, that's good though.
And
I
have a distinct memory. We had a boat over in San Diego, and one weekend we went over there with my son. He was maybe 12 at the time, and we got in this big thing about where was the fucking flashlight. And we were going back and forth and back and forth. This probably went on for like 30 minutes. And finally my son was like, why am I only the only mature person on the boat right now? And both of us were just like, oh shit. And we stopped immediately,
Right.
you know. But it took something like that. But those were the kinds of things we would get into sometimes. It's just like, no, you did
You
it.
just get caught up in the
You had
moment,
it. Blah, blah,
whatever.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I mean, that's healthy, you know. And it's like, you know, 2 seconds, it's over, and everything's fine.
And you're good and all this, yeah.
And we're good, and it's all fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And I notice you say fine, it's not forgiving, because there's nothing to forgive. Like, it wasn't bad.
There was nothing to forgive.
Like, you're not going to hold a grudge or
No,
anything like that.
there's
There's
nothing
nothing
to
to forgive. It was just like, whatever.
Yeah. And there was trust. You know, he traveled all over the world. He would be, you know, sometimes he would call me, and he's like in a pool hall with his coworker who's a female attorney, and they're playing pool in Russia, you know, at 4 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, tell Treese hi, you know. There was never any question of, you know, whether anything was out of line, you know, because we just knew.
That's really cool.
That's healthy.
It is healthy, absolutely.
It's healthy.
For
That's
sure.
love. Yeah. And,
love is so many things. Love is trust and acceptance and
is.
respect, and yeah.
It is. And I did a little snooping and went on marriage.com, and they define love as the glue that holds a relationship together. And I thought about that, and I thought, okay, so there's so many different kinds of glue. You know, there's Elmer's glue. There's the like kindergarten stick glue.
Right.
There's like, what is it, Gorilla Glue?
Yeah,
You know,
that stuff works good, by
That
the way.
shit can
Yeah.
hold a car together,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, okay, so I've been in relationships where there was like kindergarten glue. I've been in a relationship, like my relationship with my husband was definitely like, you know, whatever, the Gorilla stuff that's like your car's not going to fall. You can hold a door on, right? It's like everybody has different kinds of glue. So everybody has different kinds of their interpretation of love, I think. And I remember when one of my girls was getting married, and I did my mother of the bride thing and the speech, and I just said, love is a verb. And every day you get up and you choose it, and then you live it. You have to live your verb out. It's like, it's action.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's not something you sit back and you're like, oh, I'm in love.
You know, we talk about that sometimes. I think you and I have talked about that. The first time we talked about, you know, every day you have to make a choice, right? Like if you're late to work every day, you're not going to have a job eventually.
No.
And if you don't care about your relationship every day, you're not going to have a relationship eventually. But it's a choice. I know you choose. You choose a person, and you choose to work at it.
Right.
And marriage is such a sacred thing. I've been married twice, and divorced twice.
3
clearly.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And each one was important, but it was a different relationship, right? And the love was different, but the same. And initially, you know, you
What does
have
that
that. I don't know what that means. It's just not the same. Like you can't love everybody the same. I don't think.
No. Well, because it's two
I
different
guess it's
people,
different reasons,
different dynamic.
or like different sparks, or different dynamic is a great way to say it, right? The point is that I just remember that in the initially you're like, man, I'm so into this. This is such a big deal. And then you let life get in the way, or you let a traumatic event get in the way, or something like that, and you kind of forget, like you lose your path, right? And maybe you bring something home from work, like we were talking about with Brian, or you know, your firefighter, or your police officer, or your whoever, and something horrible happens during the day, and you bring that home. But as soon as you lose that respect of, hey man, what's really going on? Like, are you okay? You know what I mean? Like sitting down and actually asking and being like, hey, are you okay? Like, and really giving a shit. Like that's a big deal. That takes a lot of energy. That's a big choice.
Right.
To really understand why.
Right.
And you have to be also as somebody who can articulate why and articulate the truth.
That's
and
what
be
I
able
was
to explain.
gonna say, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's hard to do.
Well,
Some people can't do that.
And then because when they can't, or if they choose not to, and they scapegoat and say, oh, I'm stressed out. You know,
Right.
my boss this and this.
Right.
Or, I have to take the car in and I'm stressed out about that. Or the
Right.
kids this and that, you know. So people who scapegoat and then take their emotions and hide behind that and choose not to engage.
That's when they get
and then
angry.
that goes on for 2 days, and then that goes on for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden it's 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden you're so deep into the weeds of nobody communicating,
Right.
and you're completely disconnected. Like, how far do you have to go to be so far that you're gone?
Right.
Right.
And that goes with, we talked about forgiveness, we talked about anger. We're going to talk about all those things, I'm sure, many more times and maybe even more depth. But that's the thing, you get in that place because you don't forgive.
Right.
Or you want to stay angry, like you choose to be pissed off because that's where your normal state is. Like you actually choose it. And it becomes normal to fight or have like those circles of text where you argue all fucking day about nothing. And there's really no want for a solution. It's just you keep running around that bush But
It's the dance
weird.
we talked
It's
about.
the dance.
The
Yeah,
dance,
it's crazy.
the dance of
it
anger.
literally
Yeah.
is crazy. Like it drives you crazy.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is too is that in itself can be a traumatic event every fucking day.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're running around, you're doing this dance with the person that you love the most in the world and the one that you want to be with, and it's like effing up the rest of your life.
Right.
Which is really, really crazy to me. Like, why would you?
So go back to the victim thing. All you have to do is step out and stop dancing.
Well, yeah. You know, it goes back to the knot, right? Like sometimes you can untie the knot, you can loosen the knot, or you just cut the fucking cord,
Right.
and you're done.
Exactly.
Yeah, because some people don't know how to live out of that.
They
Don't
don't.
know how to not do that.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty
because
amazing.
well, but some people don't have a choice. So and this is true. They feel that whether it's financial, and I know women who I've coached women who have been in this situation. For financial reasons, they have to stay, and they don't know how to undo it. So we work through. Okay, how can you manage where you are right now? So
That sounds like prison.
some people it's cultural. They can't get divorced. That's a thing. Some people it's religious. Can't get divorced. It's a thing. You know, so some people are in a situation where they feel like they don't have a choice and they actually don't have a choice. So then it's, okay, so what can you choose? Can you choose your response? Do you have to answer those text messages?
Or if you knew that, you could choose not to get in the first place.
Well, but you don't know when you go in.
Sometimes. I wonder if that's true. Now, I'll be careful disagreeing with a woman, but I would disagree with that.
Disagree with me all day.
I honestly think you know in the beginning and you choose, if you're, okay, and I'm going to just speak for myself. If I'm going to place a weakness and I don't have self-love and confidence, I may not say no. I may meet a woman that is amazing and beautiful, but that's not good for me, or that's mean, or that's selfish. And I might just put up with it because I don't want to be by myself. You could do that too. And sometimes that
That's true.
happens. You know it does,
That's
right?
true.
But then you end up in this position where like, oh my God, you know, I gave up so much of my independence, like you're saying with a woman that is financially strapped to that relationship. And you're giving away so much power to,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't do that. Well, you can do that if you choose to,
Right.
out of love. But then when things start falling apart, now you're in this prison.
But sometimes circumstances change.
True.
So you
True.
can go into it with circumstances like this. Here's an example. You buy a car, a new car, you think it's awesome.
Right.
In 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever, it's a piece of crap. It's a lemon. You keep trying to return it to the factory or the dealer. And you have to go through the whole lemon law thing and all that
Right.
stuff. When you bought that car, you had no idea it was a lemon.
Okay. I guess that's possible.
It's possible with people. And I don't
Okay.
mean people, like this person's a lemon, but the match and the dynamic is not. It's a
Eventually.
lemon. It's a lemon.
Right.
And things come out. Or when you get the dynamic together, because this person has maybe PTSD effects or whatever, or
Right.
you know, something's going on. Or this person is, you know, all of a sudden, like, you know, they used to go out and have 2 drinks, and all of a sudden they have 12 drinks, and all of a sudden there's chemicals involved and whatever. Like,
But don't you think
shit changes.
Don't you think you can fix it though? I think you can.
You can only fix yourself.
I know, but I think I know if you choose to fix yourself, you can fix your relationship. Like everything's repairable.
No.
Really? I think it's bullshit. I think you can fix it. If you really want it, I think you can have it.
No.
No?
No. Speaking from
Okay.
experience, no.
All right, so 2 people decide like, hey, we're all effed up. And we both want to be better. We both want to grow. We both want to have self-love. And we both love each other.
Oh,
but we know
okay.
we're messed up.
Okay, so 2 people,
Both people.
both have to decide.
Yes.
Okay,
Then that works.
that maybe
Okay. Well, yeah, way better chances, right?
better chances.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I would
there's
agree.
yeah, but if 2 people say they want to,
If 2 people were that invested, they probably would have a problem in the first place.
exactly.
Yeah. Well. All right. See, we're coming around.
See,
We're getting it.
I think
All
we're
right.
getting there.
I
Yeah,
like it. I
yeah.
like it. Well, that's self-love with Shelly Netco. Appreciate you guys watching.